Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor, and welcome back to me reviewing Hearthstone cards for their fun gimmick potential and level. I don't know what I'm calling this. I do this for every expansion. This is where I just go over all the new cards, and I talk about if they're going to be great for gimmick decks, or they're going to be crazy RNG fun. This is not about arenas. This is not about constructed. This isn't about, being like, this doesn't fit the meta. This is about just being like, can I do something stupid with this card? Because that's pretty much why I play Hearthstone. So things like a few years ago, I can't even say the words, Koldara Drake. Or last year, I believe. It was actually last year. I did the thing where it was like getting Koldara Drake and doing the one-turn kill on a priest. And it took 2 days, but I did it. Was it worth it? No. But was it worth it? Yes. So, I've already done a few of these. I've already gone over some of these cards, so I might just do this more briefly. If you want to check out any of the other videos I've done, I'll put links in the description below if you'd like to see the cards talked a bit more in detail. But there's a lot of cards to go over, so I'm just going to do all of them and do it a little quicker. So first off, we have Dragon Caller Alana. Summon a 5/5 dragon for each spell you cast this game that costs 5 or more. I mean, it seems pretty strong, but gimmicky. It's one of those gimmicks where it's like an evolve shaman, where like, sure, it's a gimmick, but it's a gimmick that is effective. You know what I mean? Or it's like, oh, I did evolve shaman. It's not like it's something crazy you pull off once every 100 games or something. It's just like, oh, that's the thing. So I don't really consider those gimmicks. It's a fun card, but gimmicky, not really. Dragon Hatcher. At the end of your turn, recruit a dragon. He's a 9/2/4. That's kind of gimmicky. I think if you can get him out early, and then you can start playing some crazy dragons or something, that could be fun. Get that end of turn, your end of turn things trigger twice. So you get 2 dragons. That could be fun as well. So I mean, this has some gimmick potential. I like this card. Master Oakheart, Battlecry, recruit a 1, 2, and 3 attack minion. And he's a 5/5. So this is an interesting card. This is kind of perfect for one of my buff decks or something, to get the board just flooded with minions at the end of the game after I've already played a lot of minions. So I think he might actually be good in my low-cost buff deck that I've been running. So I like this card a lot. For gimmick potential. And then if I can trigger this battle cry twice and just get the whole board flooded with minions, that could be a game winner, unless they have board clear, but hopefully they don't. They will. Sleepy Dragon, a 9 mana 4/12 with taunt. He's what he is. He's like Smaug. He's like Smaug. He's guarding his gold. He's a dragon. He's sleepy. Void Lord is a 9/3/9 with taunt, death rattle, summon 3 1/3 demons with taunt. So this is another card where it has some potential to be fun, but gimmicky, not really. It's still a pretty cool card though. The Rune Spear. After your hero attacks, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. Now this is what we're talking about. This is some prime gimmicky level stuff. This is going straight into like a Yogg Saron type deck, and just flood it with random spells. Just a whole bunch of random spells. So I can definitely make just a random spell deck in general. I think I've done it before, but now you're just adding more fuel to the fire. We got Woe Cleaver. After your hero attacks, recruit a minion. So that's actually pretty strong too, because you can recruit like anything. You could end up recruiting some really strong big minions. I mean, you can recruit Ragnaros. You can recruit this guy, Geosculptor Yip. At the end of your turn, summon a random minion with cost equal to your armor. So this is obviously for a warrior, armor warrior, or whatever it's called. I know there's like the technical term. Is it control warrior? I don't know. Crendor, are you playing this game outside? So imagine if you Woe Cleaver, and then you summon Geosculptor Yip, and then you have like 10 armor, and then he summons another minion. It's just a chain of summoning minions. That would actually be pretty cool. I might try to do that. Woe Cleaver, Geosculptor Yip, and then have some armor there. That might be pretty fun to do. So that's a nice gimmick potential. I like that. Grand Archivist, 8 mana, 4/7. At the end of your turn, cast a spell from your deck, target chosen randomly. So again, this is prime random spell deck. I love this. And he's got a lot of gimmick potential because you could even put one spell in your deck that you really want to get cast, like a couple Pyroblasts or something, and then boom, throw them out there and you got Pyroblast coming out for free. The problem is targets chosen randomly. But if you get lucky, that's a spicy meatball. So this is anything with random. This is just like prime gimmick levels of crazy. Grizzled Guardian. Hold on, I accidentally clicked the thing. Grizzled Guardian. Taunt. Death Rattle. Recruit 2 minions that cost 4 or less. So I mean, that's a pretty good card. He's going to recruit minions after he dies. He's 8 mana, 3/3. He's got Taunt. But I don't know if it'd be gimmicky or not. I guess I'm trying to think if you can make gimmicky recruit decks. You know what I mean? There's probably going to be some. Speaking of which, Catherina, Winter Wisp, Battlecry, and Death Rattle. Recruit a beast. So this could actually be used as a gimmick type thing. Imagine getting all the cards that double up double up battle cries, double up death rattles, bring back death rattle cards, or like, you know what I mean, like constantly bringing back Catherina, recruiting beasts, and you just keep recruiting beasts. I think that'd be great. And maybe you just have like a couple really strong beasts or something, so you keep bringing them back. I don't know. There might be. I'm liking this. I think there's some gimmick potential with it. But here's a really good gimmick potential card. King Tog Waggle, 8/5/5 Battlecry. Swap decks with your opponent. Give them a ransom spell to swap back. So a lot of people have been saying with this card, it might work well with Priest, where you get 2 turns, and then you can play King Tog Waggle. Then you can do something to their deck right after you play it, and then they'll try to swap back, and then they can't because their deck's really bad. Or you somehow like discard their hand. Like you can. There's just a lot of things that are great in theory, but they're going to be really hard to pull off. But that's the perfect gimmick thing, and that's what makes them so great. They're just hard to pull off, and when you do, it's like, love it. So King Tog Waggle, that's a 10 out of 10. Loving me some King Tog Waggle. Marin the Fox. We already know about Marin the Fox. Violet Worm. Death Rattle. Summon 7 1/1 grubs. Apparently this is like the copy of a magic card, but I guess the guy who works on, or who created the magic card or something like 17 years ago, just works on Hearthstone now, so he just remade the same card or something. That's what I was seeing. But it's okay. I mean, you're going to get a bunch of grubs. It's like nice, but gimmicky? I don't know. I don't know if it's too crazy of a gimmick. I guess you can bring him back with Death Rattle, but again, it's like not a crazy gimmick or anything. Rock Dalar. If your deck has no minions, fill your hand with Hunter spells. Everybody's been talking about how bad this is. But I think that anytime there's something like this is terrible, that's prime gimmick territory. Trying to beat everybody with like the worst deck and worst cards possible. So I'm pumped for Rock Dalar. I think this is going to be some prime gimmick territory. Crushing Walls. Destroy your opponent's left and rightmost minions. That's, it's just a destroy minions card. Lesser Diamond Spellstone. So there's a lot of Spellstones coming out now. Resurrect 2 different friendly minions. Cast 4 spells to upgrade. So if you keep upgrading this, you can resurrect like a whole bunch of minions in one turn, which is crazy. So these Spellstones have some pretty great potential, especially this Priest one, because that's like, you just keep resurrecting everything. It'll make my resurrection deck I made even stronger. Then there's the Warrior one, which is summon a 5/5 Mithril Golem, and you equip weapons to upgrade that one. It's not really gimmicky, but it's still a thing. Then there's the Lesser Sapphire Spellstone. Summon 1 copy of a friendly minion. Overload 3 mana crystals to upgrade. So then you summon multiple copies of a friendly minion. This is great. You can just make multiple copies of like crazy cards. You can make multiple copies of what did we already have? I guess I was going to say Dragon Hatcher, but it's like, you don't really need to do that. Dude, multiple copies of Grand Archivist. There you go. The spells will be flying. And what if you get more spells of this? Like, I think I'm loving this one. I'm going to play some Shaman this expansion, because it's got some pretty gimmicky cards for Shaman. There's some other ones we'll get over in a little bit. Go over in a little bit. Priest, we got Psychic Scream. Shuffle all minions into your opponent's deck. That is an interesting card. So, I mean, you can use this to give them some bad minions or something on top of clearing the board. So this has some gimmicky potential as well. Give them like Fell Reavers, or like the ones that burn their cards and everything. Banshees. So this will be interesting to play around with. Corridor Creeper. Costs 1 less whenever a minion dies while this is in your hand. So, you know, it's alright. It's cool. Lanessa Sun Sorrow. Cast each spell you cast on your minions this game on this one. So that's a pretty cool card. I don't know if it's going to be crazy gimmicky, but it's still a pretty cool card. Like, you can just get a Divine Shield, Blessing of Kings, like all the buffs and stuff. So that'll be interesting. Silver Vanguard, Death Rattle, recruit an 8-cost minion. That's pretty nice. I mean, it's only a 3/3, but for 7, then you're going to get an 8-mana thing the next turn, and who knows what it could be. You could put 1 8-mana creature in your deck and then hope to get that. The problem is if you draw it, nothing's going to happen, so that's kind of shitty. But yeah, Temporis. Your opponent takes 2 turns, then you take 2 turns. This is a pretty gimmicky one, but I was saying, if there's some combo you want to try out, and you think you can live 2 turns and try to pull this off, I think this is some great gimmick potential. Great gimmick potential. So then they got 2 turns to kill you, but who knows what you can pull out of the bag of craziness. I don't know. It's just, I think it's a cool card, and I'm going to try to play around with it. Don't know if anything's going to come from it, but we'll see. I think it synergizes well with something like King Tog Waggle, where you're going to have 2 turns to kind of deal with them trying to get their deck back, but you'll have multiple turns to try and mess up their deck or do whatever. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, should be interesting. Alaneth. At the end of your turn, draw 3 cards. Alright. Valon here. Give a minion in your hand 4/2. When it dies, re-equip this. Alright, so I mean, nothing too gimmicky or anything. Gather your party, recruit a minion. So that's kind of just recruiting a minion and hoping it's a good one that costs more than 6 mana. I guess you could put some big minions in there and then hope to get the big minions or something. I don't know. To my side, summon an animal companion, or 2 if your deck has 2 no minions. Oh my god. So a lot of people again saying this is a bad card. I mean, I see how it can be. It's like 2 animal companions for 6 mana. You can just play 2 animal companions, but I guess this is specifically for the no minion deck, so it should be interesting. I think I'm still gonna play around with it. I mean, you're gonna get 2 animal companions. So what if you get boar, and I guess anything you get would be pretty good, but I'd probably want a boar, so you just rush them down faster or something. I don't know. It's okay. It's not very good, but it might be good in that one specific situation. Unidentified shield. Gain 5 armor, gain a bonus effect in your hand. That's kind of cool. Gimmicky, I don't know, but maybe. Well, I don't even know what it means by gain a bonus effect in your hand. Like, if you got the... I'm trying to think. So if you have, like, more armor effects in your hand, it's going to take that into consideration. I don't know. Seems okay. Crystal Lion. Divine Shield. Costs 1 less for each Silverhand recruit you control. So Silverhand recruit decks, they're really pushing that. I might even just try it out, even though it's not a huge gimmick, but... Gem-studded Golem. Taunt. You can only attack if you have 5 or more armor. So they're, from what I've seen, pushing a lot of armor warrior stuff. So maybe there's some gimmicky things we can do with armor warrior. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Grumble the World Shaker. Battlecry. Return your other minions to your hand. They cost 1. So this is kind of crazy. So you play them, and then you get all your cards back, and they just cost 1. So you can trigger their battle cries again. You can trigger a whole bunch of battle cries in one turn. You can have them attack, and then bring them back with that, and then play them again. Like, this card's amazing. Again, Shaman. Shaman right now is my favorite, maybe Priest. Priest and Shaman are my 2 favorite classes for this expansion so far. Hungry Etten. Taunt. Battlecry. Summon a random 2-cost minion for your opponent. That's kind of interesting. I mainly like the card art. Rin the First Disciple. Taunt. Death Rattle. Add the first seal to your hand. So I went over this in a different video. But kind of a crazy card. And it's pretty much like you can win the game at the end of doing all this. So I'm all for this. I'm going to try her out and try to do it. I only bring it up because I forgot there's like this whole process of getting seals and doing a thing. I went over it in one of my other videos, but it's a pretty cool concept. I'm excited for it. Sleeping Oozling. Battlecry. Gain the death rattle of a random minion in your deck. I like this card a lot because who knows, you could get some crazy death rattles or something, but at first I was like, what if you get death rattles like this one? Then I realized, oh yeah, it's only a hunter card. So being only a hunter card kind of holds it back from being super gimmicky. But I'm sure there's got to be something we can do, right? Maybe Sleeping Oozling will get the Winter Wisp, Catherina Winter Wisp thing. That'd be a cool combo. Spiteful Summoner, Battlecry. Reveal a spell from your deck, summon a random minion with the same cost. This is really good for doing something like I was talking about earlier with the random spells deck, because that'll at least get me some minions on the board on top of having big cost spells. So you'd be like, hey, I got a Pyroblast. Oh, look, I got an awesome minion. So it's really good for that type of deck. Skull of the Minari. The start of your turn, summon a demon from your hand. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool for the Demon Warlock, but it's not too gimmicky. Deck of Wonders. Shuffle 5 scrolls into your deck. When drawn, cast a random spell. Again, perfect. This is going straight into the random spell deck. It's just, there's going to be so many random spells. I'm so excited for it. Dragon's Fury. Reveal a spell from your deck. Deal damage equal to its cost to all minions. So this is another card perfect for random spells. It's like that's another type of thing where it's almost like they want random spells. Just for the madness that's going to ensue from it. Which is fine with me. Again. But I almost get that feeling like I was talking about earlier where it's becoming a forced gimmick where they're like, come on, do this thing, do the random spells. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, you're kind of pushing it on me there, Blizzard. Here's the Hunter Spellstone. Summon 2 3/3 wolves. Play a secret to upgrade. So I guess this would work well with the Spell Hunter that they're also pushing, as we just went over. But I think they're going to be fun. Like, they're not bad. When I say things like, Evolve Shaman and, like, random Spell Mage and, like, Spell Hunter, like, they're not bad. It's just they're kind of gimmicks that are pushed by Blizzard to be like, hey, build a deck. Here's a bunch of cards for it. Instead of being like, what if we take this card and do some crazy shit? Lesser Onyx Spellstone. Destroy 1 random enemy minion. Play 3 Death Rattle cards to upgrade. So then I imagine you can destroy 2 random enemy minions and so on and so on. Which is kind of cool. Level up. Give your Silverhand Recruits 2/2 and Taunt. So there's a Silverhand Recruit thing. Arcane Tyrant. Costs 0 if you've cast a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. Interesting. Not really gimmicky, but, you know, good for a spell type thing. Carnivorous Cube. Destroy a friendly minion. Death Rattle. Summon 2 copies of it. So that's an interesting way of summoning more of one minion. So, I mean, just for example, you got a Ragnaros. Maybe he's weak even. You destroy him. This guy dies. Boom, you summon 2 copies of it. If you got Death Rattle to trigger it twice, you summon 4 copies of it. This is 10 out of 10. Prime gimmick levels of a card. I'm going to do so much Carnivorous Cube. So much Carnivorous Cube. So you just need a lot of Death Rattle triggers and some big minions or fun minions that are going to be great to actually copy. So should be interesting. to play around with that. Corrosive Sludge. Battle Cry, destroy your opponent's weapon. So he's just a bigger slime that we already got in there, and then the other slime. Fungal Mancer, give adjacent minions 2/2. Furbolg Mossbinder, transform a friendly minion into a 6/6 elemental. That's kind of cool. So there's a lot of cards where it's like when they die, you summon a bigger minion. This is actually transform a friendly minion into a bigger minion. So I actually like this a lot. This is a cool type of card because it's still kind of sacrificing something. Like in the other ones, the one guy has to die for the big minion to come out. In this, you get the big minion right away, but you got to transform something. So, I mean, you could have something like a penguin laying around. You just throw them out there and then transform it. So that could work out really well. Green Jelly. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/2 ooze with taunt. Dude, we could just make an ooze deck. That'd be kind of fun. Just an entire ooze deck. There's got to be some way of doing that. Like some sludge, just all the sludge, the guys that summon slimes or sludge. I think we're getting to the point where we're going to have enough slime cards to actually do that. So that should be interesting. Guild Recruiter. Recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. So that's, cool. Could be good with some recruit stuff, but I don't know how good recruit's going to be yet, so I'm just interested to get in there and play it. What's it? Ixlid Fungal Lord. After you play a minion, summon a copy of it. So we got more copying things. This is for Druid. This seems like it'll be really good for Druid, because Druid's got so many big, strong cards. So you got you play like a big-ass tree, and then you summon another big-ass tree, and it's like, well, and then you just keep copying everything. Like, this is actually amazing for a legendary deck. This makes me want to play legendary Druid. Just fill my entire deck with legendary cards, and then just keep copying them once I get that guy out there. So that should be interesting. I like him. That's a 10 out of 10. Possessed Lackey. Death Rattle. Recruit a demon. Nice. That's cool. More demon stuff. Trog Gloom Eater. He's a 5 mana 1/5 with taunt and poisonous. That's one of those things where he's 5 mana, but still taunt poisonous. I have a poison deck that's done pretty well. I can probably throw him into the poison deck, see how that goes. Here's a good one. Windshear Stormcaller, 5 mana, 5/5, Battlecry. If you control all 4 basic totems, summon Al-Akir the Wind Lord. So I need to make a deck based around this, just trying to get him to summon Al-Akir, and then maybe even playing Al-Akir the turn after or something. I don't know. Just an Al-Akir deck with like 2 of these guys or something. We'll see. And then we just got to get all the totems out there. Should be fun. Twig of the World Tree. Death Rattle. Gain 10 mana crystals. So that is another interesting Druid card. I'm sure that could work in a gimmicky way, because, I mean, you're trying to destroy your weapon so you can get those 10 mana crystals. So you got to either attack multiple times, get something to destroy your weapon. I don't know. We'll see. This should be interesting. Branching Paths. Draw a card, give your minions 1 attack, gain 6 armor. Choose twice. You choose twice then. So between draw a card, give your minions 1 attack, or gain 6 armor. That's kind of cool. Call to Arms. Recruit 3 minions that cost 2 or less. This is great for my buff up, my low-level buff deck, where I just buff up all the low-cost minions. So I can probably put that in there like the other card I was talking about previously. The only problem is they're not going to be too buffed yet. So it's great for like after you've already buffed up a lot of the cards in your hand and played them all, and you just got to get the board flooded with more minions or something. So I like having that option there. Cataclysm, destroy all minions, discard your hand. So it's essentially a Deathwing without Deathwing on the board, but it works great with something like a discard Warlock, so I think that's what it's mainly for, where you just wipe the board and then maybe cards that get discarded go back to your hand, or you get bonuses for discarding cards. So that's what it's mainly for, and I actually like that a lot. I think it's going to be great for a discard Warlock. The only problem still is discard Warlock doesn't have great control still. You know what I mean? Like, you can still get this card and be like, well, I got none of the cards that synergize with it, and there's no, like, I still want them to do, like, a choose a card you discard card. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to do it eventually, but unless I just haven't seen one and they added it in here, but I doubt it. Flanking Strike, deal 3 damage to a minion, summon a 3/3 wolf. Lesser Amethyst Spellstone. Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion. Take damage from your cards to upgrade. Ah, interesting. That's actually a pretty cool card. So you can lifesteal. It's essentially a Gul'dan thingy. Where you just deal damage and get lifesteal. So that's good for Warlocks. Not gimmicky, but, you know. Oaken Summons. Gain 6 armor. Recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. We're getting to the cards that aren't super gimmicky, so I'm just going to kind of breeze through them. We still got some gimmicky ones, though. Don't worry. Death Rattle. Shuffle a copy of this minion into your deck. Astral Tiger. Cursed Disciple. Summon a 5/1 Revenant. So it's actually a 5/1. Summons a 5/1. So that's kind of interesting. Dusk Breaker. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all other minions. That's kind of insane. Ebon Dragonsmith. Reduce the cost of a random weapon in your hand by 2. That's actually good for my one warrior deck where I try to discard all my weapons real fast and then buff up my Colossus. Well, actually, I don't think that would matter too much now I'm thinking about it. It's good if I want to play a weapon and then drop a Colossus or something in its area. I don't know. Actually, you know what? It's not that great for what I'm doing. Never mind. It sounded great, and then I was like, wait, that doesn't even make sense. It's good for... there's one deck where I try to buff up my dagger as a rogue and then kill the other person with like a 1-turn weapon hit. And there's actually a card that's great for that we're going to get to, so I'm going to keep going. Elven Minstrel. Combo, draw 2 minions from your deck. Faldori Strider, Battlecry. Shuffle 3 ambushes into your deck. When drawn, summon a 4/4 Spider. That's an interesting card. It might be fun to play around with. You know, like trigger that twice and get a whole bunch of 4/4 spiders. Be like 6 ambushes. Hoarding Dragon, give your opponent 2 coins. That's a good card if you're trying to mill them. There's actually a decent amount of mill stuff in this expansion, which is kind of fun. Well, not fun to play against, but if you want to mill somebody, it's fun. Hooked Reaver. If you have 15 or less health, gain 3/3 taunt. He's a demon. Ironwood Golem can only attack if you have 3 or more armor. He's a 7/3/6 taunt. Kobold Illusionist. This is a great one. Death Rattle. Summon a 1/1 copy of a minion from your hand. This is even better than some of the other ones because you're copying cards from your hand. So imagine needing like 8 damage, and we're gonna go back to the Ragnaros again. This card dies. If you somehow like get the Death Rattle to trigger twice or something, you summon 2 1/1 copies of stuff from your hand. Imagine just having a Ragnaros in your hand as the only card, and you summon 2 of them, and then boom, you hit them for like 16 damage. It'd be crazy. So this is great gimmick potential. Love the Kobold Illusionist. There's a whole bunch of cards you can get that'd be great with it. Even you get the Recruit a Dragon one, you know? That the Dragon Recruiter, and he's a 1/1. He starts recruiting dragons. Who knows? Kobold Monk. Your hero can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. 4/3/6. Leyline Manipulator. Battlecry. If you're holding any cards that didn't start in your deck, reduce their cost by 2. That's an interesting card. Shimmering Corsair. Shimmering Corsair. Only you can target this with spells and hero powers. Interesting. Shroom Brewer. Restore 4 health. Nice, Shroom Brewer. Sneaky Devil. Stealth. Your other minions have 1 attack. Ooh, that's pretty nice. That's a 4-mana 2/2. That is a really good demon deck card. It's actually a pretty good card for just a lot of things. Having a plus. It's like having the wolf from the hunter deck, but he costs a little more. But I mean, he's stealth and he's giving them all attack. It's kind of crazy. Speaking of crazy, the Darkness starts dormant. Battlecry. Shuffle 3 candles into the enemy deck. When drawn, this awakens. So this is essentially the ultimate mill deck monster, where you're like, hey, I'm going to mill you and make you draw a bunch of cards, and I'm going to play this 20/20 for 4 mana, and I'm going to mill you fast enough that hopefully the 3 candles get drawn, and then bam, you just get smashed in the face by the Darkness. So this is definitely gimmicky. and I'm going to play around with this card quite a bit, just because that's kind of crazy. Dragon Soul. After you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. Unidentified Maul. Gain a bonus effect in your hand. Gains a bonus effect in your hand. Oh, I guess that's the thing, is like bonus effects and stuff. I haven't really looked into bonus effects. I saw that's a thing, like unidentified weapons. But that could be interesting. Explosive Runes. After your opponent plays a minion, deal 6 damage to it and any excess to their hero. So this is actually a pretty crazy secret to have, because, I mean, they can just play something, and then if it dies and they're low health, it's like, well, they lost. So this could be an interesting card to watch out for. Healing Rain. Restore 12 health divided randomly among all friendly characters. I feel like that's going to have a really cool animation, like the green rain falling down on everything and healing everything. It should be interesting. Primal Talismans. Reckless. Alright, give your minions Death Rattle, summon a random basic totem. That's kind of good for that Wind Fury, not Wind Fury, Alakir deck, playing Primal Talismans. Reckless Flurry, not Fury. Spend all your armor, deal that much damage to all minions. Mamma mia. That's a board wiper. Twilight Call. Summon 1/1 copies of 2 friendly Death Rattle minions that died this game. So more Resurrection Priest fun. Oh my god. Priests just keep getting like amazing cards, dude. Unidentified Elixir. Give a minion 2/2, gaining the bonus effect in your hand. Benevolent Djinn. At the end of your turn, restore 3 health to your hero. Boisterous Bard. Give your other minions 1 health. Cave Hydra also damages the minion next to whomever this attacks. That could be a fun thing to try and buff up, but there's already cards like that. But I guess this one's a low-cost type of one, so you can buff him up early and then keep doing that. But he'll probably get killed, but still a fun thing to try. Dragon Slayer. Deal 6 damage to a dragon, so they've got some anti-dragon going on now. Let me get some water. Fungal Enchanter. Restore 2 health to all friendly characters. I like his card art. It's a fun little art guy. He's like, oh, he's like a worm. Gilded Gargoyle. Add a coin to your hand. Death Rattle. Greedy Sprite. Gain an empty mana crystal. Alright. Kobold Apprentice. Deal 3 damage. Randomly split among all enemies. Ooh. I can make another deck where it's just random damage being cast at. It kind of ties in with the random spell damage or random spells being cast, but I actually like the random damage, like Matter Bombers, Mad Bombers, all that stuff. Kobold Barbarian. At the start of your turn, attack a random enemy. Interesting. And he's only 3 mana, so imagine buffing him up a bit. Having some fun with that. Lone Champion. Battlecry. If you control no other minions, gain Taunt and Divine Shield. Ooh, that's annoying. Rummaging Kobold. Battlecry. Destroy or return one of your destroyed weapons to your hand. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Sewer Crawler. Summon a 2/3 giant rat. That is an interesting card. I actually like that card, though, mainly for the card art and the kobolds. The Shrieking Shroom. At the end of your turn, summon a random 1-cost minion. Ooh, that's a fun card to play around with. I might try doing something with him. Who knows what we could do there. I like that. Sonya, the Shadow Dancer. That's the thick rogue. After a friendly minion dies, add a 1/1 copy of it to your hand. It costs 1. So this is just tying in with some of the other things we were talking about. Imagine Sonya's out there, right? And you play that one guy, and it summons a Ragnaros. Then Ragnaros dies, and then you get a copy of their 1/1 Ragnaros. You play Ragnaros again, and it costs 1, and then you can just like keep looping it over and over. And all you gotta do is like stealth the Sonya, have one of those cards where it makes one of the cards stealth, and then just have her sit out there. I love this card. That's a 10 out of 10. Prime 10 out of 10. Stone Skin Basilisk. Divine Shield Poison. Interesting. Toothy Chest. At the start of your turn, set this minion's attack to 4. Oh, alright. So it's kind of you can't do anything, and then his attack always becomes 4. So even if he gets buffed up to like an 8/8, it drops down to 4 again. So still an interesting card. Moving on to the next page. Twilight Acolyte, Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, swap this minion's attack with another minion's. So this is, again, a priest card that is very strong. Imagine it's got like a 10 attack thing, and you're holding a dragon, you play a Twilight Acolyte, bam, they have a 2 attack now, and you got a 10-4 for 3 mana. That's crazy. Twilight Acolyte, dude. Void Ripper, Battlecry, swap the attack and health of all other minions. Ooh, that could be fun. Might throw some of those in there just for just for the goofs. Zola the Gorgon, or Gorgonzola, haha. Battlecry, choose a friendly minion, add a golden copy of it to your hand. So more copies, which is great. I love cards that continuously copy other stuff. There's a lot of copying in this thing. So I'm going to definitely play around with all the copying and trying to do some crazy stuff. Bladed Gauntlet has attack equal to your armor. Can't attack heroes. So, I mean, this could be like a 100 attack weapon, but it can't attack heroes. And it's only got 2 hits. But still pretty cool. I like that. I like that card a lot, to be honest. Because you're going to have a lot of armor. You might be playing around with armor. You know, you can just kill some minions for free, practically, with that thing. And not take any damage. Cheat Death. So rogues have secrets now. One of them's Cheat Death. Secret. When a friendly minion dies, return it to your hand. It costs 2 less. This just ties in more. You play Ragnaros. You got that other guy. Ragnaros dies. Comes back to your hand. You play Cheat Death. You play Ragnaros. And then he dies. Comes back to your hand. Then you play the other thing. And you play that. And you play red. It can be a never-ending cycle. How long will it go? How long will it go? Crushing Hand. Deal 8 damage to a minion. Overload 3. Evasion, secret. After your hero takes damage, become immune this turn. So it's like an ice block for rogues, but you have to take damage to trigger the ice block, or the evasion. So not quite like ice block, but if you survive the initial damage, then you get an ice block from it. So pretty cool. There's the Paladin Spellstone. Summon a 2/2 Spirit with Taunt. And restore 3 health to upgrade, so you get a bigger taunt minion. Lesser Ruby Spellstone. Add 1 random mage spell to your hand. Play 2 elementals to upgrade. So you can get more random mage spells. Interesting. Not crazy, but not like some of the other ones. But I mean, it's good for elemental mage, I guess. Potion of Heroism. Give a minion Divine Shield. Draw a card. Sudden Betrayal. Secret. When a minion attacks your hero, instead it attacks one of its neighbors. I like this card. That's a fun card. Rogue's actually looking pretty good to me now, too. So it's, I'd actually say Rogue might have passed up Priest. Maybe like Shaman, Rogue, Priest are my top 3 right now. Wandering Monster. When an enemy attacks your hero, summon a 3-cost minion as the new target. That's a hunter one. It's alright. Cavern Shiny Finder. Draw a weapon from your deck. Ooh. It's good for like a weapon rogue thing. Dry Gulch Jailer. Add 3 Silverhand Recruits to your hand. Good for Silverhand Recruits. Dry Whisker Armor. For each enemy minion, gain 2 armor. That's actually a really nice way to gain a whole lot of armor all at once. So you could do that and then wipe the board with that one card that deals damage to all minions based on your armor. Kobold Hermit. Choose a basic totem. Summon it. Again, perfect for that Alakir deck. Murmuring Elemental. Your next battle cry this turn triggers twice. So we got Shamans. Again, love Shaman. This expansion. You pretty much have your own Bronzebeard. So you play the Murmuring Elemental, and then your next battle cry just triggers twice. So, boom. We got a mini Bronzebeard here, and he's an Elemental. Plated Beetle. Gain 3 armor. Raven Familiar. Reveal a spell in each deck. If yours costs more, draw it. Ooh, that's pretty nice for a random spell deck. Scorpomatic. Destroy a minion with 1 or less attack. So that's pretty cool. I don't know how many minions are going to have 1 or less attack, though, but I mean, it's only a 2-mana one, too. It's okay. Vulgar Homunculus. Taunt. Deal 2 damage to your hero. Demon, though. Candle Shot. Immune while attacking. So it's just an early weapon to hit some people as a hunter. take out the early things. It's pretty nice, though. It's only 1 mana. King's Bane. Death Rattle. Shuffle this into your deck. It keeps any enchantments. This is like the perfect card for what I was trying to do with my rogue weapon before. So maybe I'll just make a King's Bane deck where I try to keep buffing up the King's Bane weapon and then kill someone with it. That's a fun gimmick I think I can try out. So I'm definitely going to try that. The King's Bane 1-turn kill. Should be interesting. Bark Skin, give a minion 3 health, gain 3 armor. Dark Pact, destroy a friendly minion, restore 8 health to your hero. Lesser Jasper Spellstone, deal 2 damage to a minion. Gain 3 armor to upgrade, so you can deal more damage to a minion. That's the Druid one. Psionic Probe, copy a spell in your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. So that's more priest stealing. I'll probably go into my priest randomly stolen deck or whatever I'm calling it now. Randomly robbed is what I think I called it. Rhymes a little more. This is pretty nice still. Imagine stealing some crazy stuff like Unstable Evolution. Transform a friendly minion into one that costs 1 more. Repeatable this turn. So, if you have 6 mana, you can unstably evolve something like 6 times in 1 turn with this card. Is what I'm getting from it, which is kind of insane. So again, Shaman. I can't wait to play. A Shaman. And we got Arcane Artificer. When you cast a spell, gain armor equal to its cost. We got the Dire Mole, the 1/1/3. We've got the Feral Gibberer. After this minion attacks a hero, add a copy of it to your hand. So again, I was talking about this in another video. If you buff this thing up, if you get this is the perfect card for like a Paladin buff deck. You buff this thing up, get it to like even like say let's say like 6/6, right? You get a copy of it if he's able to attack. And so if you continuously keep attacking with the Feral Gibbers, you just flood the board with a bunch of big-ass Feral Gibbers. This is probably going to be one of my first decks I try to do because I love the idea so much. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Prime 10 out of 10 gimmick. Gravel Snout Knight, summon a random 1-cost minion for your opponent. He's a 1/2/3 though. That's a nice card. And he's riding a mole. Kobold Librarian, I like that art too. Draw a card, deal 2 damage to your hero. It's also a pretty nice card. And then he's burning all the books. Wax Elemental, Taunt Divine Shield. Oh, that's actually a pretty cool card to have. He's only 1 mana. He's got Taunt Divine Shield. That's good for that one card that gains all the spells in your deck. So then you automatically get Divine Shield and Taunt. And then I think the only one left is like Wind Fury. You know the card I'm talking about where she copies all the spells in your deck or whatever. Then finally, Shifting Scroll. Each turn, this is in your hand. Transform it into a random mage spell. So again, perfect card for a random spell mage. Who knows what you'll get? It's a Shifter Xeris, but for spells. And with that, we have covered all the cards in this expansion. So thanks for watching and listening. Again, if you want me to go into some of the cards in more detail, I'll put the descriptions or the links in the descriptions. But I think I did a pretty decent amount of coverage here. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm going to be doing a pack opening. If you miss it, I'm going to upload the pack opening to YouTube anyway, so don't worry. And then we'll get straight into doing some crazy gimmick stuff. So thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to this expansion. Hopefully you are too. And I'll see you later. Okay? Okay. See ya.